meditation. You are a blessing to us. Every month, we celebrate one of the 12 powers that our co-spiritual co-founder, Charles Fillmore. I could get another mic. It'd be all right. Just hop on up here with another microphone. Awesome. Is it good? Just hop. We are totally adaptable here. We can just hop around and everything's going to be great. Charles Fillmore developed and discerned one of the 12 powers that are within each one of us. And this month, the month of April, the color is yellow and the power is wisdom. So wisdom is the power to judge, to evaluate, to discern, to be wise, and to apply what is known. So with that power of wisdom, let's say our mission statement together. Inspiring spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. And with that same power of wisdom, let's say our statement of being together. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Once again, we want to welcome all of you who are connected here today. We especially want to welcome those of you who are here for the very first time, whether in the sanctuary or at home on Facebook and YouTube. We hope that you are inspired by today's service. We are honored that you have joined us. And if you're at home, we hope that you come in soon and we get to meet you in person. Unity is a worldwide ministry dedicated to the ongoing awareness of the Spirit within all. We invite you to consider our teachings. Wherever you may be in your spiritual journey, keep what works for you and gently release the rest. We will now bless everyone who is watching. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. Amen.
Good morning. Good morning to those of you who are here in person. Good morning to those of you that are watching online on our live stream this morning. And so we will go into a brief moment of prayer. In this sacred moment, we allow ourselves to open our minds and open our hearts to the God of our understanding. And as we feel into that wondrous presence, we give ourselves the gift of knowing that that divine presence is right here, right now, operating in us, through us, as us, and around us. We affirm and know the truth in that day. And that day when the stone rolled away from the opening of that tomb, what emerged was new life and new possibility in the form of Jesus the Christ. That stone rolled away from the opening. And in this moment, we affirm that our stone, the stone of limitation and lack and fear, that stone rolls away. And afterwards we emerge as the Christ beings, the divine beings that we are. We are a blessing to the world. And in the name and nature of the Christ within as us, together we say, and so it is. Amen. Open my eyes that I can see.
Princes of truth, thou hast been placed in my hand, the wonderful key that has unclasped and set me silently now. I wait, ready thy will to see. Open mine eyes, illuminate me. Spirit divine, open my ears that I may hear voices of truth thou sendest clear. And while the wave notes fall on my ear, everything false is open my mouth, let me bear gladly the warm truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare love with thy children, the stew share. Silently I wait for thee, ready my God, thy will to speak. Open my heart, illuminate. Spirit divine, Spirit
I will be leading us in our affirmations and meditation this morning. So as you see the affirmations appear on the monitor, let us all join in unison and affirm these words together. A new day, a new beginning, a new awareness of the Christ presence in all people. In this moment, I would invite each and every one of you to become comfortable and relaxed in your seats. Close your eyes or gently relax your gaze. Allow yourself the gift of several slow, deep, cleansing breaths. Each time we exhale, we feel more and more And as we relax, we allow ourselves to see, sense, feel, and know that we are one with the infinite presence of Spirit. Our very being in essence is that very infinite presence. We allow ourselves to breathe in to this awareness. The story is endearing and enduring. Persecution, torture, crucifixion on the cross, wrapping the deceased body, placing it in a tomb, and rolling a heavy stone in front of it. And on the third day, the stone rolls away, and Jesus the Christ emerges, resurrected and lifted. Again, this is an enduring story. Yet in the power of the story, and in the proclamation and the affirmation that the story makes, that life is above death, that one event is a mere pointer to a spiritual and eternal truth. The idea of resurrection, it is sourced in divine ideas. We see evidence of resurrection in the seasons. In the winter, when things appeared to be lifeless, what is actually happening is a regeneration process. And the evidence of that regeneration process emerges in the spring and exists through the summer. Each and every one of us are resurrection power. And every time that we remember who we really are, we have an Easter experience. Every time we remember that besides our bodies, our hands, our limbs, our organs, our joints, that we are something deeper, we have a resurrection experience within. When we remember that we are the Christ presence, and we allow this knowing to fill our minds and fill our hearts, we are having a resurrection experience. And in this awareness, we allow within us a resurrection of all that is worth saving and all that signifies our beauty, our worth, and our truth. We allow those parts in us that have laid dormant, yet are expressive of life. We allow ourselves to experience now, in this now moment, a resurrection. Let us spend a moment in the silence, allowing ourselves to remember that we are the Christ presence and allowing ourselves to experience those dormant parts of us now being resurrected. God is, I am, we are. We are resurrection power. We are the Christ, each and every one of us. We allow ourselves to be anchored and secured in this knowing. And we dare to think, speak, and act from this knowing. And when we do, the Christ has expression in the world. And in the name, nature, and power of the Christ that we are grateful, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, happy Easter. Happy Easter. To everyone present in the room and to our friends coming in, wow, virtually. What a miracle that is. Are you appreciating that? I mean, you're here because you like to be live, but let me share with you that being able to be at home sometimes and virtual is amazing. Think of the people who are sick or going through things, that they can now be here with us in ways they never could before. Wow. So every once in a while, a minister has to wrestle the talk to the ground, so to speak. And I thought I had this talk nailed on Thursday night. And sometimes what we name a talk niggles at us in a way we don't expect. And I entitled this, One More Time. And when I woke up on Friday morning, I realized I was going to have to do something a little different with this talk today. And so I'm apologizing in advance if I sound a little like Debbie Downer or Captain Obvious. And then eventually, since I'm a very hopeful people, I hope we're going to end on a hopeful Pollyanna-ish way. Are you game for that? Yes. Okay. And so the result is, the slide set is a little bigger than what I normally use. So if you're getting tired of the slides, let that be your crucifixion experience. And figure out how you can get over it. Wow. One more time. Let's see if I can get this going here. Here we go. And here we are. Passion Week, Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday, yes? So, the heart of this story begins last Sunday with Palm Sunday, right? With his triumphant entry into Jerusalem. So it starts high and happy and hopeful, correct? And Jerusalem, metaphysically, is usually said to be a consciousness of peace. And I looked that up again in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, and it's really the foundation of peace. And when we think of Jerusalem, and we think of the history of Jerusalem, and all the things that have happened in that city, Jerusalem, its name, foundation of peace, is an aspiration. And a lot of the time, it's not the reality, is it? Not the reality. Just think about what's happened in Jerusalem just this weekend, with Jews attacking Palestinians. Holy Week. Not so holy sometimes. Okay, here we go. You know what? I think I missed a slide. No, I didn't. Okay, so Jesus and the boys were staying in Bethany, which is about can anybody figure out what I'm doing wrong here?
It's me. It was me.
This is my crucifixion experience. Let me be in it. Okay. It's 1.72 miles to Jerusalem. So the boys were walking from Bethany up to Jerusalem, back and forth, every day. Think about that. And Bethany is a consciousness of overcoming. Isn't that what the Easter story is about? Overcoming. You know, when I first got into New Thought, when I first got into Unity, I thought if I got spiritually mature, crap wouldn't happen in my life. Yeah. What a disappointment that didn't happen, right? And so, Jesus, on that Monday, had kind of a bad day, didn't he? So walking from Bethany to Jerusalem, he comes across the fig tree, right? And what does he do to the fig tree? Do you remember? He curses it for not having figs in season. This is the guy who turned water into wine, walked on water, raised Lazarus. Why couldn't he said Shazam and there would be figs? Right? Have you wondered about this stuff? It's like, what? So I'm thinking he and the boys are walking up to the temple, and now they're hangry. Right? And when Jesus gets into the temple, what does he do? He turns the tables, right? Now, do you think this was the first time he was in the temple and there were people exchanging money? Why did he do it that day? It's curious, isn't it? Why? What was going on within Jesus? I don't know. Okay. So then we move on and we get to the Passover Meal, the Seder. Let us not forget, especially this Easter Sunday, we have a confluence of four things, don't we? We have Judaism, we have Christianity, we have Ramadan, and because we have peeps, rabbits, and Easter eggs, paganism. All wrapped up in one, right here, right now. And so Jesus and the 12 disciples celebrate a Passover Seder. And all the things you have to do to put it together, including, and this might be the beginning of the idea of spring cleaning. Okay, because the Jews, on the Wednesday before the Seder meal, scour the house for all unleavened bread. And they gather it up and they burn it. Because in the Passover meal, the reason why they don't use leavened bread is because they didn't have time to leaven the bread when they escaped Egypt. Because after all, the Passover meal is a celebration of their overcoming the stuff that happened in Egypt. Yes? So this week is a story of overcoming. It's not a story of crap doesn't happen. What are you overcoming in your life right now? There's people grieving right now. Loved ones have gone on to what I call parts unknown. Ukraine is being brutalized. Jews attacking Palestinians. Police officers killing black people. What is it about shoot to kill? Now, I want to share with you, a lot of this is in the context of how I have changed since I last did Easter Sunday here. And I'm going to recommend a book to you. It's called Caste, C-A-S-T-E, which is about racism and the caste system we have in the United States. That's obvious but subtle. It's time for it to stop. People are suffering. It's called Passion Week. So, you know how I'm the guy that says questioned, unquestioned answers? True confessions. So, Friday morning when I'm working on the service, I go, Passion Week. I never questioned that. The word passion derives from a Latin word that means suffering. So here's another example of what we humans do. We don't name things so we can understand what we're talking about. This is suffering week for Jesus. Wow. Wow. That's the Debbie Downer part, isn't it? And we want to have kindness and compassion for ourselves and each other in the midst of it, don't we? And maybe I'm being a little Captain Obvious now. And so it's one more time for us to wake up. Are you woke? Well, I'll tell you what. This white boy's a little more woke than he was before listening to Cast. And I apologize to our African American friends, Indigenous Americans, people of color, for any suffering I might have caused. Because, you know, sometimes the things we do as intent has an impact we don't even know that's happening. And I've come to learn that impact is more important than my defending my intent. What impact are you having? What impact do you want to have on others and, of course, on yourself? Oh yeah, and prior to the Seder, I don't know what happened to these slides, but we're having fun with it. Jesus washes the feet of the disciples. Metaphysically, that means cleansing our understanding, and since it's for the disciples, it's cleansing our understanding of our 12 powers. But wait, let's get real. One of the things we do in unity is we metaphysically interpret a story so we don't have to deal with what the story actually says. So we can feel good about it. Oh, look, we can interpret the bad things happening to the women and say that's what we do to our own feelings. No, it's a both and, friends. We can't escape it. The metaphysical interpretation is important because it tells us something about ourselves, but let's not ignore what's happening in the story. Are you woke? Sometimes you don't want to be. Well, let's see what slide comes up next. I can't believe. Okay. Oh, let's forget Thursday. Oh, let's forget Bethany. Oh, the temple. Confrontation in the temple. So, Jesus represents our inner beingness, our innate divinity. The Pharisees represent being bound to external forms of religion. Anybody lived that before? Yeah, me too. And the Sadducees represent religious concepts of the intellect. I love that we call this Sunday experience, because that points to something beyond the intellect and rigid religiosity. Oh, there's the olive trees, and there's these Olivet. What in the world was in my coffee this morning? So then there's the trial of Jesus. You've heard that, right? Jesus was tried, right? Yeah. So here he's being tried by the religionists. Here he was being tried by the Romans. So that's two. I can't believe what happened with these slides. They're all out of order. Maybe I'm going backwards. Maybe I was going backwards. I guess I'm not woke. They're going in all kinds of directions here, folks. I know. Jessica,
Yeah.
can you advance the slides that are toward the end that has John Baptiste? Picture of John Baptiste, please. So,
Who?
Very interesting.
We shall.
Right? We shall overcome.
It's Passion Week.
It's Passion Week. I'm not going to, it's Suffering Week. I mean, Suffering Week, Passion Week, Good Friday? What in the hell was good about it? You see, we name things so we don't have to deal with it. Let's see where we are. Okay, so here we are. The women discover that Jesus is not in the tomb anymore. And then, of course, Mary, one of the Marys, talks to Jesus. And one of the really weird things, you know I have a weird sense of humor, when they show the empty tomb, the burial gowns are still in the tomb and Jesus has left. So what was he wearing when he met Mary? Right? It's crazy. We're going to say clothing of light, all right? All right. So, how many of you know this man? If you didn't watch the Grammys, try to go back and find his performance and all of that. So, Easter week is a chance for us to remember that suffering happens, crap happens, and it's a chance for us to overcome. So, he was interviewed on Sunday, CBS Mornings, and he's going through a lot in his life. Did you know that? A lot in his life. And he said, living in the moment that can crumble. So what do you mean by that? Next slide, please. I'm just going to do that. Next slide, please. So, he does his performance of freedom, which is over the top. I play that now when I want some happy music. Next slide, please. He won Album of the Year, We Are. Next slide, please. Next slide. So this is what was going on in the background. His wife had just had a bone marrow transplant for the second cancer that she is going through right now. And because she had a bone marrow transplant, John couldn't visit her. And do you know what he did? He wrote a lullaby every day and sent it to her. Whew, still chokes me up. That's overcoming. And then he was asked by one of the people on the set, how in the world do you do this? They're living in the tension of the amazing joy and success that John's having and a possible terminal cancer of his wife at the same time. Isn't life like that? And his response was this: there's a joy to living that's still available to us. It is always available to you no matter what you are going through. That's Unity 101. And I don't know what his background is. Joy is a principle that's everywhere present, in its entirety, all at the same time. That means it's present at the point of view right here and right now, whatever you're suffering. Now, this is not to ignore the suffering. This is to have a lens of joy so we can be in the suffering and rise up. Rise up. Rise up. wake up. Life is for living, isn't it?
Per definition.
And guess what? Can we stop looking for our purpose in our life and realize the purpose is to live now fully? Are you ready to do that? Are you doing that? I think most uni people try to do that, don't we? Yeah. And every experience you're in, you have a degree of choice of calling it a crucifixion or a resurrection. And if you choose crucifixion, fine. Just don't stay there. Don't stay there. Choose resurrection and deal whatever's happening in your life. It's not about avoiding the trouble. It's about using the trouble to be a better you and a better me. So, let's put this in the first person. So here's what it says. There's a joy to living that's still available to me. It's always available to me no matter what. Let's just say that. Joy is available to me no matter what. Yeah, right? And it's not to put a Band-Aid or cover up the trouble. It's to be present in the trouble fully. Yes? One more thing. There is a premise, thank you. There's a premise in unity that says, stumbling blocks and obstacles that appear to be in the outer realm as people, events, and things are primarily in the mind as our feelings and thoughts. You know what else is happening today? The Invictus Games. You know what the Invictus Games are? That's where soldiers who have been paralyzed or whatever are competing in sports. Wow! They have troubles, they have stumbling blocks, but they're rising above it. It's not what's happening to you. It's what you're doing with what is happening to you. And you know what? I know each of you matter. I know each of you are more than enough. And I know each of you is inherently divine. And we're all in this together, figuring out how to be fully divine and fully human at the same time. Raise up, folks. I know you're doing it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. Let's give him another hand. We are so blessed here at Unity by the music, the message, the meditation, and by love. Please consider giving a tithe or an offering this morning. If you're here in the sanctuary, as you exit, you can leave your offering at the plates in the front or the rear. If you're at home on Facebook or YouTube, go now to the chat box. There'll be a link to our donations page, our PayPal account, or our physical address. Or you can bring it directly to the church during regular business hours, Monday through Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Whatever amount you're guided to give, just hold it over your heart. Visualize your electronic tithe, and let's say our offering blessing together. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Amen.
Of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fire, but I see it in you. Silence is a quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains, bring it to its feet and mountains. And now rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up. We'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you.
For what started out as maybe a Debbie Downer kind of morning, what a beautiful way to move into the celebration of gratitude. For, I have to tell you, Unity of Wichita, y'all showed up yesterday. Thank you. For those of you who don't know, we hosted a Unity for the Planet party, and we invited the entire city. We had a bike jam out of the parking lot. Of course, it was freezing cold, so of course, we all pivoted together. And we moved everything except the bikes inside. And I think in total, though I never actually counted, it was an estimation, we had about 100 people here probably in that 2 hours. And I have to tell you that those kids and families that we've never met before had such a wonderful time. And they were greeted so lovingly by the community here. Those of you that came and supported this event and volunteered, the Creation Station who helped prepare some materials, and all of those involved. I do have to mention that Eleanor and Liz were here the entire day, Saturday, baking cookies from scratch and decorating them with royal icing and cute designs. It was impressive. So thank you to we really showed up, and thank you. May 1st is the potluck. I want to remind you of that. And since it's May Day, I'm going to challenge us to do something really fun. If you have a flower in your garden, maybe bring one to just share with a friend or someone that you love during our potluck dinner. I thought, wouldn't that be wonderful to fill vases on the table? So let's do that since it's May Day as well. Also, I want to share with you that A Course in Miracles, we have a group that is A Course in Miracles that's been meeting for about 3 or 4 years now. And that group has studied the entire Blue Book and also the Unity and A Course in Miracles book written by Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. And that group is still ongoing. It is on Zoom on Mondays and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. there is a second book that is called A Course in Miracles, Circle of Atonement. And that book is a different approach. I don't understand every aspect of it because A Course in Miracles is such an in-depth study. I can't speak to that right now in this moment. But this other group is going to be forming. There will be informational meetings on April 23rd and April 27th. And so you'll have 3 opportunities to come, learn more, and then you as a group will determine the best time for everyone that can come meet together. Okay, so be sure and check the e-blast for information about that. And finally, this afternoon, or excuse me, just following service at 11:15, Art Handy will be on the Zoom call to greet all of you who are online and wish to follow that link for the after experience. Thank you.
One more time for Unity for the Planet and everyone who showed up. Thank you all so much. Thank you all you beautiful souls that are here in person. Those of you who are watching online, thank you as well for your presence, your attention, and your love. Each and every one of you are the Sunday Experience, and you inspire us every day. Now at this time, we will affirm our prayer of protection, and we will jointly sing the peace song. So those of you who are in the sanctuary, if you're comfortable, and if you're willing, you can stand at this time. If you're not, that's quite okay. That's quite okay. It's all to your comfort level. Those of you who are watching at home, we invite you to be engaged with us by placing your hands over your heart. And those of you who are in the sanctuary, if you'd like to do that, that's wonderful as well. We will all, from the deepest place within us, affirm our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Amen.